I've had my eye on Rich Girl Caretaker for a while now. The premise immediately reminded me of the pet girl of Sakura Hall, which is one of my favorite romance anime of all time, so I was already interested. The characters also looked like they'd be right up my alley, so with all of that out of the way, let's just get into this. The story follows Itsuki Tamanari, and honestly, he's the kind of protagonist I can really get behind. Right from the start, you can tell he's an incredibly hard worker. He's a high school student doing jobs that would be tough even for a lot of adults. And despite everything, he still manages to keep a positive attitude. The reason he works so hard is because he has to pay for his own tuition. He already knows his parents aren't going to help him. They're alcoholic gamblers who are terrible with money, so he's basically been forced to become responsible way earlier than he even should have. Then he gets home after work one day and his parents are nowhere to be found. He notices a note that simply says, "See ya." He thinks it's a joke at first, but it is not. His parents actually abandoned him, and somehow they made the situation even worse by stealing every single dollar that he's worked so hard to save. So now he has no money, no food, and probably not even a place to stay. That is just really messed up to me. Anybody would be devastated after something like that. While he's wandering around trying to process everything, he notices two girls from the prestigious Kyogakuin Academy. This is where we meet our female lead, Konohana, and I'm not gonna lie to you, she has main heroine written all over her. She accidentally drops her student ID, so Tominari picks it up to return it to her, and somehow they both end up getting kidnapped. It was honestly way funnier than it had any right to be. While they're being held captive, both Tominari and us as the audience get to learn what Konohana is really like. She's incredibly carefree, she's a total airhead, and it feels like she knows almost nothing about how the real world works. Her entire life has been so sheltered that the world basically revolves around her. Kidnappers eventually get so exhausted dealing with her non-stop demands that they just give up and leave her sitting with Tominari. While they're stuck together, the two of them actually begin a bond a little bit. Tominari tells her that he'll protect her because now there's not really much in his life to fight for, so he is just going to protect her with all he's got. Konohana admits that nobody has ever really treated her like a normal person before. Everyone around her is just so formal and uptight, but Tominari talks to her honestly. That's something she's never experienced before, and it's why she immediately starts to like him. After Tominari returns her ID, she secretly uses it to signal her family, and before long they're rescued. Once they're safe, Konohana simply looks at her family staff and says, "I want Tominari," and that's it. The decision was made right then and there. I should probably mention something I forgot earlier. Konohana comes from one of the richest families in Japan, possibly the richest, and these people do not mess around, bro. The moment she says she wants Tominari, they immediately run a complete background check on him. They already know his parents abandoned him and stole all of his money, and that literally happened earlier that day. It might have been a couple hours ago. To me, that is impressive, but also scary. Since he has nowhere to live and no money left, they offer him a job as Konohana's personal caretaker. You know, because the show's called Rich Girl Caretaker. Get it? Get it? Tominari arrives at the family's estate, and this place is absolutely massive. I think they mentioned the family is worth around 300 trillion yen, so I looked it up. That's roughly 1.87 trillion US dollars. That is an absurd amount of money. Watching Tominari take all of this in is honestly pretty entertaining because he spent his entire life living in poverty and working just to survive. He's never seen anything even remotely close to this. Konohana's father sits down with him and explains what the job actually entails. The funny thing is that at school, Konohana acts like the perfect, elegant young lady. She's graceful, polite, and basically the ideal student. But the second nobody is watching her, she completely drops the act and goes right back to the lazy, carefree Konohana that we've seen earlier in the episode. She's only really comfortable acting like herself around Tominari, which is exactly why she wanted him as her caretaker. The deal they offered him is actually pretty freaking nuts. He gets a place to live, all of his meals are covered, and he'll get paid 20,000 yen every single day, which comes out to be around $120 to $130. That's a lot of money for basically taking care of someone your own age, right? Of course, there's a reason why they're willing to pay so much. The family has a lot going on between the scenes with their business, and eventually they want Konohana to marry someone suitable. Because of that, she has to maintain the image of being the perfect young lady at times. In fact, her father even says he'd be willing to pay Tominari even more if necessary, but he just agrees on the 20,000. That's how important this job is for them though. As part of it, Tominari also gets transferred into the same academy that she is in. Since it's one of the most prestigious schools, he's going to have to catch up academically while also learning everything that comes with being the caretaker for Konohana. So far, I'm really enjoying their chemistry. Their dynamic is genuinely fun, and I caught myself laughing multiple times the first episode. The two scenes that got me the most were when the maid basically told Tominari if he tried anything inappropriate, she'd cut it off. And then Konohana's dad looked him in the eyes and told him that he would just end him. Overall, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I genuinely think that this could be the best romance anime of the season. And yes, I know everything that's airing this season. I said what I said, except maybe Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Maybe it can be number 2. If you haven't checked out Rich Girl Caretaker yet, I really do recommend giving it a shot. It's been a really fun first episode, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.